meet you again.
My name is Craig Story. I've been a professor of biology here at Gordon College since 2002. I'm glad you found our website, and I hope you'll explore it and want to get involved in our project to help pastors better understand science. At Gordon, we believe it's important that all Christians come to view science as a legitimate way to learn real truths about God's universe. Today, I've invited a leading scientist, Ian Hutchinson from MIT, to meet a colleague from Gordon, Dr. Nate Baxter, who is an evangelical Anglican minister and professor of communication arts. Dr. Hutchinson, in addition to his research on nuclear fusion, has written and lectured about science and scientism. And I know Nate is interested in learning more about science, but lacks the time to do so. We can listen in to what Nate and Ian will talk about.
Well, my upbringing is strongly oriented toward the Bible. I believe in God the Father Almighty, creator of all things, visible and invisible. But the question of how, I began to realize, wow, that is just really out of my league.
As Christians often feel very alienated by science. If you look at the founders of modern science, people like Boyle and Kepler and Copernicus and Galileo for that matter, all these people were serious Christians.
And when I was beginning to really immerse myself in some of the writings of St. Augustine. So I was familiar with some of his more famous works, and then started, oh, look at this, on the literal interpretation of Genesis. So I completely not knowing what was in store for me, his version of literal and my version, or what I'd grown up with as what literal could entail, was just completely different.
You know, I'm a physical scientist, so the things I know best as a professional scientist in these kinds of discussions relate to questions like, well, what's the age of the Earth or the age of the universe? Yeah. And so, you know, often speaking to students, I just say, look, everything we know in the physical sciences leads us to believe that the universe is old, that the Earth is old, you know, and some billions of years.
How do you help your colleagues who sort of feel the ire of the church?
I actually feel this most strongly for students, that they've been told by their pastors usually, well, evolution isn't really the case, or really the Earth is only 6,000 years old. And for them, that can be a real shock to their faith. And sometimes it leads to them essentially, walking away from their Christian faith. And I think that's a great shame.
What are better paths to take than the polarized options that are high profile?
Well, around New England, most congregations have scientists in them. Yeah. And one of the things to use in terms of resources for this kind of conversation is the people you have.
As a working scientist and a Christian, one of my life missions is to help dispel the myth that there's a basic conflict between science and the Bible. I have seen how people's suspicion of science and genuine internal dissonance can be resolved. So if you're a pastor, please fill out the survey so we can have you on our contact list. The free workshops will take place late in summer, beginning in 2014. We'll select a group of about 20 from among all the applicants, aiming for diversity on a number of factors like geography, size of congregation, background, etc. Again, thank you, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God richly bless you in your good work.